Hello, Michael Gonzalez, and welcome.
Hello, Frankie. Thank you.
Hello. Michael Gonzalez is an actor. Michael Gonzalez is a singer. He's a musician. Michael Gonzalez studied music. Michael Gonzalez studied cinematography. Michael Gonzalez is one of my best friends. Michael Gonzalez and I, we met about 25 years ago. Do you remember? On
And
the
Maria
set
can.
on the set of Al Dia con Maria Conchita, a Latin variety show in 1998. Michael played the keyboards for the house band, and I was just a very simple, innocent
It's a
wardrobe
common
assistant.
express.
I was in charge of steaming his clothes.
Yes.
Do you remember? And then all of a sudden, one day, we just connected on a level unbeknownst to us that would take us to this very moment. We found out we had the same sixth sense of humor,
Yes.
and we lived very close to each other at the time.
So it's Silver Lake.
You were in Silver Lake, I was in Eco Parque, and I would take the bus over to see you. I'd get there in like less than 10 minutes, I think, back then.
Back
Now it
then.
would, yeah. So, Michael, I thought that maybe to loosen things up around here, we could start with a little song.
Okay.
Yeah, a little song that kind of represents us. And I'll go ahead and start it, and I think that you'll know how to follow along.
Okay.
Okay. I say tamales, and you say,
Tamales.
I say Pilates, and you say
Pilates.
tamales,
Tamales.
Pilates.
Pilates.
Oh, we get, okay, yes. See, there we go. See, so just a little something out there to share with the world. Um, I ate Chinese food the other day, American Chinese food. Yeah. And you know how you get this fortune cookie and you open it up and there's like a
I
little,
got two of those. Do you want to compare?
yes, I do.
Where's my wallet? It's not it. There it is. Can you hold on one second? Hold on one second.
I sure can. I mean, it's not like we have anything else to do, right?
Okay, let's-
Just
okay,
here,
read me
minding your own
yours and I'll
business.
find mine.
Well, I feel seen. I feel like I'm being followed because mine said, your contributions to your community can be felt near and far. And I think that this restaurant has been hacking into my dating apps. Contributions to your community. That's all I've been doing.
Is contributing.
Contributing.
Yes, you have.
What about yours?
Quite the contributor. Mine says, what this is my lottery ticket numbers aren't knowing. It says, education's purpose is to replace an empty mind with an open one.
Well, we are
And
kind of open, aren't
they're
we?
trying to tell me that, and I got two of them, and they say the same thing.
No way. Okay, that you didn't need a third one. That's
I got two of them. But anyway, so that's pretty interesting.
Michael, I wanted to ask you how how did you get into music? Because music came before film for you. What was it about music?
Okay, so when I was a little boy,
A
there
few
was a
years
neighbor
back.
that I from Bakersfield, California, which is like Nashville West. Buck Owens is from there. Merle Haggard is from there, right? It's just a lot of country music. Hee Haw, the show, right? Bakersfield.
Yes.
So
Really? I
anyway,
didn't know that.
so when I was a little boy, two doors down was this couple and their two girls, but the husband played on Hee Haw. He played slide guitar,
Oh, did he?
and the wife, yeah, and the wife was also a musician. And my mom and her were really good friends. So I think they used to babysit each other's kids. But I
Mm-hmm.
think my mom bartered with her for babysitting for guitar lessons. So just like one day, I just come home from school and she says, we had a guitar in the house. My sister had a guitar. She goes, grab the guitar. You're going next door for a lesson. So then I learned.
Ándale.
Okay, so then I learned. I was like 8, and I was learning guitar chords. Okay. Then anyway, so that kind of went on for a while. Then my sister, one of my sisters, uh, had some troubles growing up. It was the '60s, the hippie age, right? And it was a turbulent time, and she was just wild. So she did some really wild stuff. So to get her focused, my mother got her a piano and a piano teacher. So the piano teacher used to come to the house, and I'm probably like 10, and but I used to sit in the corner of the room and watch her lessons, and then um, when she would then when of course she wasn't practicing because it was the '60s, she had other shit to do. I would jump on and start doing her lessons, and then I just got all into it. And then I started noticing like G chord on a piano is the same as a G chord on a guitar. You know what I mean? I was kind of,
You
and
made
then
that
pretty soon,
connection.
yeah, and then she just couldn't pull me off. So anyway, she quit, and then I got the lessons, and then they just couldn't pull me off of that thing.
As you grew into piano being part of your life, was it also like having a confidant, a friend,
Yes,
someone that's there when you're feeling something and you need to get it out?
exactly. It's my best friend that's never left my side.
I'm asking this because a few years ago I was watching a documentary and this lady was talking about her deceased brother, who apparently was a very good piano player, and that many a night when he had a very hard time, he wouldn't talk about it, but he would play and play and play, and it was just never discussed. So I never thought about it that way. So that was the same for you.
Yeah, because um, well, the nature of instruments is a thing called a velocity, where
Mm-hmm.
when you can hit a key, if you hit it, it'll be soft. If you hit it soft, you get a soft sound, as opposed to if you hit it hard, you'll get a hard dynamic sound. When there's all that space in between. So, however you're feeling, if you have a con- good control over the instrument, you can work. You're working in those levels. So, however you're feeling is coming out, which is interesting.
Mm.
Right.
Now, what about acting? I remember exactly the day that you told me that
Really?
you were now, yes, I do, because it was unexpected. I had no idea you had any interest. Yes, you studied film, but just because you studied film does not mean that you want to be an actor. And I remember you and I were on the phone as usual, and you said, "Well, I'm turning 50 and I want to study acting," which is not something that you hear about most of the time. Someone turning 50 as opposed to someone being 18.
Right.
You turned 50 and you said, "I'm going to study acting." And I thought, oh, well, that's nice. Yes, that's it.
You
Yes,
remember that? You remember the phone call and everything? Really?
I do. And then I said, okay, well, that's cool. We are in Los Angeles, right? That's what I thought. But you really did it. You really did it. You went out there and you took class after class after class. You even took some private classes. Um, and you started to get yourself out there. And you've done some short films. You've been in some independent movies. I've seen you on TV. I saw you in a commercial. And you're still doing it. You're still building onto
Yeah.
everything that you've been doing. And I
I'm
think that
on
that's
strike right
awesome.
now.
And now you're on strike.
But yeah,
But but now this next question, I feel like I know the answer because other actors have talked about this before, but do you feel you can easily empathize with a lot of your characters because you've lived a full life and you know what pain is and you know what love is and you know what laughter and joy is, and therefore you can just connect with those emotions?
Well, yeah, I mean, being older, yeah, there's definitely a library, right, of of emotions and experiences. But I think young people have those too. They're just different. You know what I mean? They're just different, but they do, you know. But I definitely feel like there are some great roles for people in my age. I think if I was to have started younger,
Absolutely.
and I know young actors, they who just had a really wonderful 20s, early 20s thing.
Mm,
But
right.
that's kind of been a like for I'm talking about men specifically. But
Mm-hmm.
like there's a stage where you're like a man boy. You're half man
Mm-hmm.
and half boy, right? You
Mm-hmm.
remember that stage. We were in that stage, right?
I'm
You're
still
still
there
kind of
mentally, physically
right.
not, but yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
one day you wake up and then you're just a man, right? But that's casting. So sometimes it's hard to let go. I can see in like people I know, it's hard to let go of that. But there's wonderful roles in the when you start getting closer to my age, 40s. I mean, think about who you like Succession, you know? That guy's 80. The sons are in their late 30s. Those are like you would dream to get roles like that, right?
Right. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I love that Viola Davis, that Kate Blanchett, that Meryl Streep are not teenagers. I love that they are our age, older, that they do an amazing job at what they. This is who they are. Who cares? Whatever age they are,
Right,
right?
but yeah, exactly. And there's great parts for people that age. Really, just
Mm-hmm.
it's exciting time. But yeah, I do think that I'm able to pull from a lot of experiences from just being my age.
And speaking from experience, I know we've talked about this recently. Both you and I, we've had quite a roller coaster, an emotional roller coaster of a year because we've lost a lot of people that we love. And honestly, sometimes I don't want to get out of bed.
I get it.
And and I think of people like yourself that have recently lost loved ones and have lost loved ones in the recent years. And you're one of my go-to examples of like, well, wait a minute. This person and that person, they got out of bed. I can get out of bed too. I'm lucky to be able to get out of bed by myself. Right? And one thing that I believe that connects you and I is our go-to place, which is laughter. It's comedy. It's the strongest thing that you and I have. No matter how desperate a moment we are experiencing, we will call each other and maybe we might have a very emotional moment. But then all of a sudden, we'll just start cracking up because we'll say like the most.
I gotta give you an example. Like, I just lost my friend this last week, a
Yes,
very dear friend.
I'm sorry.
Like, it's really hard. Like, when I learned about it, I just threw the phone and crawled up into a ball. And but recently I've been into like bling, right? A little bling. And then I get a package. I had ordered something, and evidently it came from China, so it took forever. And it came, and I was very excited. And this is it. I thought I'm gonna wear this. I don't want it too long because I want it to be above this one, kind of. But oh my God, like I got such a fat neck, like it. Oh, oh. Like it's, anyway, that made me laugh.
Right. I don't know about
But
you, but I believe in signs, and what I see is it's not a choker, no pun intended. I see that going across your forehead. That's I see that going across your
But
forehead.
I mean,
I mean,
it won't even go across my head. My head's too big. Wait,
what about a double wrap around your wrist? Oh,
see, that's
th-
that's
that's
why.
we needed to talk today.
Oh my God! But that looks really
What?
like.
That looks like you're gonna beat somebody up, but that's okay too.
But yes, then things like that happen, and it pulls my focus.
I don't remember who it was. It might have been Joan Rivers. It might have been Phyllis Diller, and more or less, the what this person said was it was either the studies show that either the comedian or the clown is one of the saddest, most depressed people that there is. And I remember thinking, no, what this is, I cannot. It
I worked at
disturbed
the
me.
I worked at the comedy store as a piano player. Trust me, that's true. I worked with comedians for like for years, and that's very true.
And and guess what? I realized later on why it upset me because I didn't want to accept that I was depressed, that I was sad, I've been dealing with depression for decades now.
I didn't even
And
know.
yeah, yes. And I thought I told you. Well, okay, well, we'll talk about that another day.
Well, you know, it's so
But
funny. But
yes,
like,
tell me.
so I had gone to a therapist for grief counseling because I lost my nephew, right, to suicide.
Yes.
So, my therapist is the
Hmm.
one that told me to try acting. She said,
No,
"You're an
sir.
artist. It's not a stretch. It's an art form." She goes, "But you'll go to acting class and you'll kick and scream and do all kinds of." So it was her idea. It wasn't my idea. It was actually her idea.
So was this her way of saying do this so you can get it out, or just do this
Because I
as a form
wasn't
of
opening up.
you weren't opening up? Well, yeah, we need to do that.
I
Yes.
wasn't. I wasn't touching base with my actual feelings. I was kind of playing it like
Bling. Right.
I was just, I was pulling my focus somewhere else.
So in
And
essence, unbeknownst to all involved, she discovered you.
yeah,
Oh wow.
like I would go for a joke instead of dealing with what was really facing. Because I stopped doing music. I just stopped doing everything. I just fell off the planet. It was just too traumatic, right? That
Of
experience.
course it was.
So so if I was gonna pull myself out of that, she says you've got to go do something. Try
But
acting.
yet but yet even in those years cuz we've known each other this long that I know we were already friends when your nephew passed away. I distinctly remember you telling me. I distinctly remember the time soon after that, and you still continued on the phone, at least with me, being hysterically funny, and I did too. And then we would talk a little bit about things that are happening, and then bam, we saw a joke, and we went for it. Our humor was everything that it always has been. I think it's not only therapeutic, but it's also a coping mechanism and life saving at the same time.
No, I agree. Do you remember when I think this was started it? I just followed a hair. It was we'd be in
There you
the
go. That's all we needed.
we were in the be in the dressing rooms for the TV show. It was that long
Yes,
hallway and they had all the dressing rooms.
I
You know?
remember.
Okay, and then you had one that had the steamer, but you would every morning you would come in the back door with a rack of
Yeah.
clothes, right? And then I
Oh,
would come
yes.
in through the stage door that was connected to the stage in the morning. I don't know
Mm.
why. Maybe we came through, I don't know, for whatever reason. But we'd we'd come in and then we'd be at opposite sides of the hall and we'd come in and then just freeze and just give each other
Remember? Like when two dogs
and
all
then
of a sudden see each other from a
yes, and
distance.
then just proceed with caution. Do you
As we
remember that?
slowly
Slowly.
crossed each other's
But
path, as we slowly
as you
crossed each other's
grab
path
your
down the
rack
hallway.
of clothes like it was like a weapon.
Well, the steamer was a weapon. The steamer, because it was a steamer from the maybe even the 80s, not early 90s. That steamer would not exist today. The steamer would be very small and light. That steamer was heavier than how much I weighed back then.
And did you would give me my shirt for the day, my clothes?
Your calculus polo
Yes,
shirt.
yes. And I look at it and I go, is this my calculus shirt? Am I gonna like with my pins? Like I'm gonna put like what is this shirt? We're in a
The
band.
Yes, we had no, like, almost negative $2 for budget, and well, for Maria Conchita Alonso, we pulled favors. I mean, I literally called up people that I kind of maybe knew that worked in the garment industry in Los Angeles and said, "Hey, we're working for Maria Conchita Alonso. She's doing a variety show. Is the company that you're working for possibly maybe interested in loaning us some clothes and that kind of thing?" I mean,
Really?
yeah. So she had a little bit of a budget, and you guys had like nada. So that's why you guys got these ugly polo shirts that no one would ever want to wear unless you taught calculus
Right? It's like they were left over from the 80s. They never
for a
sold.
reason.
And
Yes. And then you wore them, and then we would have them washed that night, and then the next day we would film. Then it would be maybe the drummer that would have to wear your calculus shirt, and you'd wear the drummer's shirt or the guitarist shirt.
are you
Yeah.
serious? Is that how?
Yes. Because most of you all were like a medium, I think. Yes. I remember being a
Anyway,
medium. I'm more like a tight medium, but anyway, I digress.
anyway, so
Well,
yeah.
Michael,
Hmm.
I want to thank you for having this chat with me today. And I'd like to end our conversation with a trip down memory lane just once again, because I think that everyone needs to know that a true friend like you will always be there for someone like me if and only if they gift you a book.
A book.
And yes, you gifted me a book called Baton Twirling, a complete and illustrated guide. This book, I believe, was printed in the 1970s. It was very thick, and it was highly illustrated with all the tricks and skills that you could ever need to be the star baton twirler that you were meant to be. So,
That was a present that I did give you.
one of many.
One of
We could, well, another day we can discuss the tap shoes, the floral bouquet.
oh my God.
All right, Michael. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome, Frankie. It was a pleasure.